Hello, my name is Hutch Rogers, and I'm here with my audience, my mom, Vanessa Rogers, and my dad here, Chris Rogers. And y'all can go back to y'all seat now. Anyways, so my presentation here today will be on making marijuana legal at the federal level in all states. So one of my main things I'm going to be talking about is how I believe that the cannabis prohibition has been just as unsuccessful as the alcohol prohibition back from 1920 to 1933. So here on my first slide, I'm talking about the alcohol prohibition and how it caused crime. So according to Mark Thornton of Cato.org, there was a 561% increase in conviction and a 366% increase in the inmate population due to the alcohol prohibition. So mom and dad, here, according to Charles Hanson Town, I have this graph here from 1923 that showed the increase in inmates from 1919 to 1920. You see there's a big jump there, and this is in the Sing Song prison. That steadily increased even more over the years up until 1933. So my next slide here is about how marijuana prohibition has caused crime. So one thing that's big about marijuana prohibition is gang violence and organized crime, which is a very bad thing. And according to ACLU, they have arrested over 500,000 people due to marijuana, which is higher than how many people they have arrested due to all violent crimes combined in the United States, which is just absurd to me. And another thing about this is the Marijuana Policy Project. According to them, 36,000 inmates are currently imprisoned due to marijuana, 10,000 at the federal level, 22 at state level. So my next slide is about after they legalized alcohol back in 1933. So here, going back to Cato.org, not only was this bad organized crime, but it had insane crime rates. And here I have this graph, which is mainly what I'm going to talk about on this slide. I have this graph from the U.S. Bureau of Census, and you can see here that before Prohibition, these were the homicide crime rates per 100,000, which they were much lower. And then after that, once the Prohibition hit, those crime rates increased substantially. And then after the Prohibition, it steadily declined back into about half of what it was in 1933, which is a very, very big difference. And now, another thing I want to talk about here is how marijuana can create job opportunities. So there are currently about 15,000 dispensaries in the United States, which create an average of 6.2 job opportunities per dispensary. So if we legalize that in every single state, that would give tens of thousands of more job opportunities for people. And another thing, a bigger thing that I even wanted to talk about here was the law enforcement spends about $3.6 billion annually regulating marijuana and arresting people. So that number would cut down drastically, and that would help us save a good bit of money there. Now, another big thing I have is tax benefits. So the tax benefits, according to taxfoundation.org, at the state level, now we're assuming no black markets, at the state level, for a state about the size of Colorado, that would produce $13 billion nationally of revenue. And that would also, here as I have, that would create $5 billion from state tax revenue. And then another thing I have is about in a mature marijuana society, about $28 billion will be produced in revenue, which includes $7 billion at federal revenue, $5.5 billion at the business, and another 1.5 in payroll income. Now, things they could do with this money includes helping for rehab for drug addicts and many other things. I mean, they could do so many things with this money. It's so much money. And that's all I have here for my presentation. Any questions, Mom and Dad?
Yes.
Yes, you gotta come back over here.
Okay. What made you choose this topic?
So, I wanted to choose this topic because I wanted to do something that was very interesting and very different and something that I didn't think anyone else would do. And one thing about this, I believe it's very beneficial for everyone and it doesn't hurt anyone for this policy to go. So that's why I chose it. Any more questions?
I think that's it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.